Okay, when you went into the tent, because you were told to go into the tent, because God wanted to meet with you, what happened?
I got into this tent and I started applying what it says in Colossians in chapter 3, which says, seek those things which are above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Seek third heaven is what it says. And then in verse 2 it tells you how. It says, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. So I started setting my mind on the things of heaven. You can do that because the Bible tells you what heaven looks like. So I was setting my mind on heaven, and all of a sudden I'm caught into the scene. I'm brought into this experience in heavenly places, and then Jesus began to come and actually speak to me and teach me things and show me things.
That must be so wonderful to be taught by Jesus. But when you think about it, Dennis, that's why we have the Bible.
That's true.
But when he taught you, what difference did this make in your life from this time? How long did you stay in the tent, by the way?
Oh, I was there hours and hours and hours, just every day. My wife was so gracious. She would protect me. I told her, if anybody knocks at the door, just tell them I've gone to heaven. So
did you go to heaven in the tent?
Oh, I did, many, many, many times.
Tell me one time.
Caught into heaven.
One time.
Well, I'll tell you, this one was, I was caught up to a place that was a big white wall, and there were no doors or windows. It was as long as I could see on either way and very, very high. And it was translucent. It was like catching the light from the throne of God and reflecting it back. And I'm asking, where is this? And the message I got was, you are in the archives of heaven. And so then I said, well, what would that be like? And they said, you come in.
Well, I'd love to read the archives, and I'd look up my name. Did you?
Well, no, here's what it was more different than what I thought it would be. Because, you think archives, you think files, and what I was actually caught into a scene, and at first I thought, this cannot be heaven. But it was a scene like a low-lying cave, very, very dank, dark, nasty atmosphere. How can this be in heaven? And then the Lord said, you're in the jail in the cave of Ephesus, or Philippi, where Paul and Silas were beaten and thrown into the prison, and then they worshiped me until heaven came to earth in the middle of the night.
All the other prisoners heard them. I love it.
They did, and they was set free. It created an earthquake on earth because heaven and earth came together through their worship.
Why did he show you that?
He wanted me to see that those things are recorded in heaven. And then he took me to the next scene, and the next scene was a tenement apartment and a lady sitting at the table weeping, shedding tears, asking God to help her raise her son in the hostile environment of the city she lived in. And the Lord said, every tear is remembered here. Every tear is kept. Every scene of the saints' suffering is kept here. And then I asked, of course, why? Why would you keep all this? And he said, this is the body of evidence that will be presented at the judgment of the fallen angels. That every tear that is caused by their sowing the seed of rebellion will be brought to trial, and it'll be shown here. And he said that those things would be kept for eternity, so that the inheritors of salvation, there would be a reason for this, for the angels to know, that this was especially kept for the angels.
Now, you heard about the term even, initiative from heaven, in this tent.
Yes.
Why is it important for you that are watching right now to understand the initiative of heaven and operate in the initiative of heaven? Why is that important?
I think it's the answer and the key to everything we're called to do. Jesus said, the works that I do, you'll do, and even greater. For whoever believes in him, they'll do those works. But we have to do his works in his way. And that means that we do it how he said he did it in John 5:19, where he said the Son can do nothing of himself but what he sees the Father do. Whatever the Father in heaven does, the Son on earth does just the same. And so there's this relinking and synchronization of heaven and earth as we do on earth what he's doing in heaven. And that's part of the Lord's Prayer. He said, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth